So let's go ahead and start. So I would like to welcome everyone to our Widening Impact Spring 2025 webinar series. And so today we have Zhao and his team who will be presenting Changing Story. Next week we have our final, not next week, 2 weeks later, we have our final webinar by the Meta Cities Project. And so I will turn the floor over to Hande.
Hello, everyone. It's great to see you all. Our series has gotten a lot of interest in regards to different excellence hubs collaborating all together. Today we have from the Changing Project here, Zhao, who will be presenting the project at hand. It is not common when we have a project that is addressing multiple factors at hand, including wellness, as well as different aspects of well-being that are important in a population where the demographics are always changing. So it's good to have this insight all together, and we look forward to the discussion. In regard to the flow of our process, we usually are taking the questions at the end of the session. I would like to request our audience to reflect their questions in the chat, or at the end open their cameras and their mics to address any questions. We look forward to the session, and without further ado, the floor is yours, to Zhao. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Hello everyone, good morning. Hopefully I solved my my problems with my sharing my screen. Now I hopefully can share. Can you confirm if I am sharing the screen? Perfect.
Yes,
Yes, you are.
Not in full. Yes, now it's perfect. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So finally it works. So good morning. So today we are here to present Changing Excellence Hub. So it's connected hubs in aging, healthy living to protect cerebrovascular function. So many thanks for accepting us to present this Excellence Hub project. So just in brief, how everything starts. So I'm a neuroscientist. I'm a research coordinator at the Faculty of Medicine, University of Coimbra. And well, I have decades of experience in lab research in neuroscience. But in 2008, 2010, as most of you know, all of you know, we suffered a big economic crisis, and so we ran into some sustainability problems in terms of research that we were doing. At that point, we realized from the European Commission that there was, I would say, a priority for funding in Horizon 2020 in aging. And this was a sort of inspiration, because then we realized that this is about, I would say, equal opportunities for healthy living during the lifespan of people. And as you know, all of you know, as we grow old, we start declining our functional capacity. And this is obviously, this can go in a healthy way, healthy pattern, or affected by different chronic conditions or different trauma, and related or not with chronic conditions that can take us, I would say, our life, even if we are still living. And so this issue of healthy aging, it was for us taken as a big opportunity. So this is about how people see the aging process, how the aged people have opportunities to, I would say, functional equally with all other generations. And this is also about new trends in research. So this is the fountain of youth, which actually also inspired to another areas of aging research, cellular and molecular biology of aging, where obviously there are new trends to rejuvenate somehow cells and tissues, and I would say extending healthy years in people's life. So aging is a process, and obviously must be seen as a beauty, and is part of a continuum. These graphs just highlights a very obvious situation, which is as we grow old, we accumulate many people, let's say, tend to accumulate different chronic conditions. Although this is not a natural process, this is an accident of biology, because I would say the default pattern is to be healthy, not in a disease state. But currently, we know that as we grow old, we tend to accumulate different chronic conditions. And obviously, there are also some societal and political tensions related with population aging. And this graph you can see, for instance, in Portugal, the trend is to have a major demographic change. And in the period between 2030, 2060, Portugal will stand, if I would say the forecast confirm, will extend as the country where there is a biggest imbalance between people in working age over people 80 or plus. So there is also a strong correlation between, I would say, lifestyles and disease state. This is just to highlight the figure for overweight and the correlation with diabetes. So we want to highlight this at global scale, at European scale, at global scale, but also in I would say small municipalities, like for instance the municipality of Coimbra, where we can see that depending on the local parish, if it is rural or urban, then the possibility or the incidence of diabetes is totally different, because then this correlates with the living environment, but also the lifestyles of people. For instance, in this case, we can see that in rural places, there is an increased tendency to accumulate diabetes. This is also obviously related with socioeconomic status of people living in those different settings. Here is just to highlight the fact that we know currently that roughly 40% of chronic conditions in later life are potentially modifiable. So this means that those chronic disease in later life are impacted by lifelong process, like for instance the educational status, the hearing loss, traumatic injuries, hypertension, consumption of alcohol, tobacco, obesity, depression, social isolation, physical inactivity. So a number of conditions related with healthy lifestyles that finally guide us through a health status in later life or to a disease condition. So it's preventable. It's not, I would say, it's not something that we cannot really avoid. This graph is, sorry for those of you that are not neuroscientists, but this is just to highlight that stem cells, different stem cells in our body, including neural stem cells, are affected by lifestyles. For instance, if we run, we increase the possibility of increasing neurogenesis in the hippocampus, one of the areas related with memory, processing of memory. But if we are exposed to chronic stress, this impairs neurogenesis. If we expose the mice models, animal models in lab to environmental enrichment, we can increase the possibility of those young neurons to differentiate and to survive and integrate in the neuronal circuits. So this means that lifestyles strongly affect our body, including our brain. As a neuroscientist, we have been mostly interested in aging brain. So I would say this scientific angle of the introduction was mostly to introduce you the concept of the excellence hub. And from where this emerged? This emerged with our interest in the European Innovation and Partnership on Active and Healthy Aging, which actually aligned very well with those priorities, and also was, I would say, a key player for Horizon 2020 projects in our the way we were approaching. So issues like adherence to prescription, polypharmacy, falls prevention, and I would say treatment of consequences of falls, lifespan, health promotion, so disease prevention, health literacy, integrated care solutions, independent living solutions, age-friendly environments, all were part of these priorities. And so this led us to create a regional consortium, an ecosystem in the central region of Portugal, which is Aging at Coimbra. So a quadruple helix-based ecosystem, government, society, academic research, business, that actually was founded on the basis of key institutions in this region: the University of Coimbra, Municipality of Coimbra, the big university hospital, the primary care networks of Central Region, the Institute Pedro Nunes, which is a business incubator and accelerator, and this was further supported by the regional government, CCDRC, the nursing school, and Caritas Diocesana de Coimbra, a big network of social care providers. So those institutions signed the MOU to collaborate within the quadruple helix to develop and replicate, adopt and replicate innovative good practices to support healthy living and active aging. And from this MOU, the MOU was open to a number of other actors across the region that actually are here in different colors according to the quadruple helix. So we have, universities for seniors, municipalities, research institutes, social care providers, many actors, so roughly 100 members in this network in the central region of Portugal. So this led us to be one of the elected reference sites, 4 stars from the European Innovation Partnership on Active and Healthy Aging. And this for us is a challenge and an opportunity. It's a challenge to, I would say, develop innovative good practices to, I would say, to deliver a benefit for people, but also an opportunity to raise innovation, to create new jobs, to accelerate the economy. So this is the way we actually approach. So the consortium was critical for us to negotiate our admittance in EIT Health as a core partner, the University of Coimbra. And among those different projects that we develop within EIT Health and many others, Praça Vida Mais is inspiring for this particular conversation today, because it's about a lifestyle. So we develop a toolkit, multidimensional toolkit to assess lifestyles at the population. And if I can share this video, you can see that this is organized in public settings. In this case, it's a shopping mall, where we just introduce the intergenerational element by mixing people from different ages, students with seniors, technologies embedded in the healthy lifestyle assessment toolkit to, in 20 minutes, 25 minutes, provide people with a report about their healthy lifestyle. And we mix those elements, technologies, science through surveys, also the intergenerational element, and the co-creation at the end. So from these, we develop a mobile vehicle to assess lifestyles in different population settings, in urban, peri-urban, in rural areas. So those different, I would say, elements of the toolkit assess, I would say, in a relatively comprehensive way, anthropometric measurements, health and disease, nutrition, mental health, physical exercise, drugs, quality of sleep, social cohesion, well-being, functional independence, and many other questions related with co-creation and needs of people living in different settings. These are some images of the mobile unit to assess lifestyles. And in an overview, since we created Aging at Coimbra, so the hub of changing project, excellence project, the hub in Central Region of Portugal, we were really successful in attracting relevant European projects on aging with this vision to promote healthy living across the lifestyle. So Multidisciplinary Institute of Aging, MIA Portugal, that Manuel Santos will present to you, AirShare project on aging, twinning project Reset Aging, a collaborative laboratory on aging funded by the Portuguese Foundation for Science and Technology, and the Changing Excellence Hub with actually bridging two hubs in Europe on aging, center of Portugal, Coimbra area, and Crete, Heraklion area. So I will now very shortly introduce the Excellence Hub project, and then I will pass the word to our colleague George Papamikail, and then to Manuel Santos. So the Changing project connects a number of partners between Portugal and Crete, and this based on the concept that Mediterranean diet elements are very rich to protect and able to protect cerebrovascular function and prevent stroke, and eventually introduce elements for better recovery of stroke accidents. So this is not only about food, it's about quality of food, it's a proximity, fresh food elements, I would say mostly vegetables, less red meat, but also behaviors, so physical exercise, socialization, I would say promoting happiness. And those elements were the critical points to build changing, because actually Crete is, I would say, the core place of Mediterranean diet, and in Portugal we have, I would say, some strong influence of Mediterranean diet culture, although we are in the corner between Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic. So in our project we have 7 work packages: coordination and management as usual, exploitation and sustainability for the action and investment plan and long-term exploitation and sustainability plan. We have the work package 3, which is a very strong element of the project, which is about the scientific strategy. So we build a common research program between the University of Coimbra and Forth that actually aligns our interest on biology of aging from the bench to translation, to clinical translation, but also to innovation. We have the work package 4 on advanced training and twinning, bringing elements of mobility, of advanced training at PhD level, but also master and entrepreneurial. We have a work package 5 on connecting academia and business, so to instigate innovation and help technologies to accelerate transfer readiness level towards the market on those topics of health and aging. We have a work package on a pilot and demonstrator, a pilot to implement innovative mobile unit for healthy lifestyle assessment inspired by Mediterranean diet culture, and also a demonstrator on the use of technologies to support, I would say, treatment and recovery of stroke patients or people affected by stroke, let's say this way. So, and finally, work package 7 on communication, dissemination, and societal impact. So those are the partners: University of Coimbra, Forth, University of Crete, Instituto Pedro Nunes, Collab for Aging, University of Coimbra Hospital, and company Lint, based in Lisbon. The scientific strategy is strongly affected by, I would say, the components of Mediterranean diet. And we think mostly about flavonoids and many other compounds that have anti-inflammatory properties, anti-senescence properties, neuroprotective properties. So this is just an example, but in fact, the Mediterranean diet food is very, very rich in those elements that can, I would say, potentially decrease inflammation related with chronic diseases and senescence and promote healthy lifespan. These are a number of papers, high-level papers that we are publishing together. These is just some examples and goes from aging cell to frontiers in pharmacology, bioscience reports, European Journal, Clinical Investigation, Frontiers in Immunology, Nature Communication, EMBO Journal, and others. This is just an highlight of ongoing activities on students exchange, advanced training. So this is a blended Erasmus Plus program, blended intensive program on cognitive disorders that we organized between the University of Crete and the University of Coimbra. And although this is funded by Erasmus Plus, the inspiration and all, I would say, the elements come from the excellence of. So this is clearly a synergy between different programs, and very, very interesting, in fact. So concerning the pilot and demonstrator, this is one of the activities that we mostly use to outreach, to, I would say, to promote health literacy, to promote intergenerational dialogue, and I would say the element of technology with the user, which is actually very interesting. So we provide all these elements I show you: anthropometric measurements, physical exercise, well-being, nutrition, smoking and drugs, sleep habits and quality, and then we provide a report. And this survey, which is a toolkit that we'll develop in a focus group, a collaborative multidisciplinary focus group, is also supported by, I would say, technology that help us to directly measure blood pressure, hand grip strength, body balance, flexibility, reaction time, and others. So this is just an example of a very recent activity that we performed in Tentugal with colleagues from the University of Coimbra, but also from Crete, because we are in the process of, I would say, adopting also the toolkit in Crete. This is another example of another activity in Central Region of Portugal, in Mielhada, and this is one of the examples for our outreach activity in city Coimbra at the International Day of the Other Older Person, where we assess lifestyles, but we also promote, I would say, cultural activities, co-creation, participation of people of different generations. And this is just also to promote Coimbra. You are very welcome if you just put Coimbra in your map for a trip. And in the grant agreement, we also have a commitment to organize every year quadruple helix-based meetings of the local ecosystems. So this is the annual meeting of Aging at Coimbra in the Convento São Francisco, Coimbra, where we meet the different partners of Aging at Coimbra in the quadruple helix, and we award best practices developed in the region to support active aging and active aging and healthy living. And so this is a really nice initiative of the regional government in strong partnership with Aging at Coimbra, which actually gives visibility to different actors, from the science angle, from the healthcare angle, from the social care angle. And so we distinguish those practices that are most impactful, and we give room of people to also participate and showcase their products and their way of living and happy living, I would say. And this is the final picture of the awardees. Also, communication and health literacy is very important. So we also play with different ways of communicating science and translate complex messages in simple and visual, I would say, materials that can capture the essential elements for people to understand science in a very simple way. So to support intergenerational collaboration, to support healthy living across the lifespan, to support, I would say, living in healthy environments, and at the end, the concept of One Health is very important in all these topics related with Mediterranean diet. So the final slide from my side is just to highlight the communication and dissemination materials. Sorry for the busy slide, but you have here the address of the website, www.changing.eu, where you can find the most, I would say, impact, outreach, partners, consortium, information about projects and deliverables and work package, etc. We are also present in LinkedIn and in Instagram, and so we actively disseminate Changing Excellence Hub, and we are very happy in joining this Excellence Hub community. So from my side, I will now stop sharing my screen. Okay, it's fine. Perfect. Thank you so much. So I would give now the floor to George Papamikhail. George, are you there?
Yes. Hello. I'm here with you.
Hello.
Can you hear me well? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, loud and clear.
Can I share my? Okay. Thank you. Just give me a moment. Could you please confirm what exactly you see? Because I have different monitors here, so I'm a bit confused. What can you see now?
It is not
I don't see
reflected on the
anything.
screen, yes, at the moment.
All right. Sorry about that. I'll do it again. Does it work now?
No, not at the moment.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Meanwhile, I can try to share your presentation if you cannot do it. But George.
Is it something that it seems that it's trying to share something, or what?
No, there doesn't seem to be any activation at the moment. Maybe as you're trying, we can. Are there any questions from the audience?
Actually,
yes, and now yes.
No, because I just shared the presentation, George Papamikhail presentation. George, do you prefer I just share on your behalf?
Yeah, that's fine. Sorry about that. And Joao, could you please check if it's the last version I sent you? Is it one?
Yes, it is the last one. Yes.
Yeah. Dear George, can you see it at the moment? So
I can see. So if it's not a big deal, I can start.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
We're
looking forward.
Just let me know when you need to move slides.
Sure.
I will move on your behalf.
Okay. Thank you very much, and apologize for this short delay. My name is George Papamikhail. I'm the director of the Science and Technology Park of Crete, which is the business incubator of the Foundation for Research and Technology, which is part of the project. And I will try to follow up Dr. Malva's presentation, and I will try to focus a little bit more on the practical perspectives and the governance of the project on behalf of the Cretan ecosystem, because I think that Joao has already provided a great overview of the project and the scientific part. So next slide, please. I would like to start by sharing with you some, I would say, challenges that we face during the implementation of the project. And I'm not talking about only the distance, as you can see here from the map, between the two ecosystems, Heraklion and Coimbra. It takes more than 4 hours if you get a flight from Heraklion to Crete. I'm not talking about this distance. I'm talking about the challenges that come out, especially during the implementation of the project, not the scientific ones, but the challenges that are related to the mobilization and the involvement of many different stakeholders that should join us and bring an added value to our projects. And I'm talking mostly about the beneficiaries at the end of the day of this project, which are the real economy and the society itself, meaning the people, the citizens. And I can say that even if we are in the Mediterranean area and follow more or less the Mediterranean diet, the more or less the similar ways of well-being and living, we can see that we have differences, and we try to understand these differences and consider the particularities, the local particularities, in order to make sense and try to have a great impact on both ecosystems from this trade-off. So I will next slide, please. So I will focus on the Heraklion ecosystem. You see, Crete is the largest island of Greece. It is located in the south part of Greece. Next slide, please. And here you can see the project partners of the Cretan ecosystem. The major, the critical partners are FORTH, Foundation for Research and Technology, and the University of Crete. And of course, then we have the Hospital University, which acts as an affiliated partner. And we also have two different special units of FORTH, which is Prax Network. This is the Technology Transfer Office of FORTH, and the Science and Technology Park of Crete, which promotes technologies and supports the creation of new companies in the incubator. On behalf of FORTH, the lead unit is Institute of Molecular Biology Biotechnology, which is and the coordinator is Professor Nektarios Tabernarakis. Next slide, please. Just a few things about FORTH, very briefly. FORTH is currently the largest public sector research organization in the country, with 10 research institutions located throughout the country. You see here the map of Greece, so you can see that we have different research institutions, but also other units that support the commercialization of research outcomes throughout the country. More than 2,000 people work in our organization. You see the numbers. I'm not going to go in detail. Maybe it's worth mentioning that currently we have 40 companies that are located in our incubator, and some of them focus on the scientific field and run activities that are very much related with the project. This is why I mentioned this, and we try to involve these companies, these startups in the project. And okay, some other facts that maybe I can skip. This slide shows the role of each project partner in the project, and I would say that the FORTH, the University of Crete, and the Hospital University are those organizations that deal with the scientific part of the project, and they collaborate at the local level in order to provide the basics and the scientific part of the project, of course, in close collaboration with other research institutions and the University of Coimbra, of course, from our partners in Portugal. And concerning the business part and all these efforts that are conducted within the project in order to transform these scientific results into the real economy, into the society. We have on board the Science and Technology Park of Crete and the Praxis Network. And of course, all of us collaborate with each other in order to make sense of it. I know I don't have enough time, so I'm trying to be as fast as possible. This slide shows here the quadruple helix model that the Changing project has developed in the context of the Cretan ecosystem, and as you can see, we try to mobilize many different groups and parts of the quadruple helix model. For example, concerning academia and research, we try to mobilize researchers and students at any different level, not only PhD students, but also undergraduate and master students. Dr. Malva has already mentioned initiatives that motivate and stimulate the interest of students in exchanging ideas. Of course, university faculty members and also experts in technology and technology transfer and innovation management. Concerning the industrial, Concerning the industrial sector, we try to engage companies and startup investors. We have companies that have already conducted some, let's say, channels with some of our colleagues locally, but also with our colleagues in Coimbra. So we try to provide these networking and clustering initiatives in order to help them create a strong community. And from the government perspective, we also mobilize policymakers and regional authorities in order to make sense of the results of the project, which in any case, it is of high interest. This Mediterranean diet and lifestyle is of high interest for the local authorities, and of course, at the end of the day, our focus is mostly on the local citizens, which act as the end users, the beneficiaries of the project. Yes, next slide, please. Just a few things about the Cretan Excellence Hub ecosystem. You know, Crete is an island. However, it is unique in the sense that it concentrates a high number of research institutions and other innovation actors. Just to let you know that we have 3 different universities at a massive number of massive at the national level, I would say, comparing to the national data, with companies and startups that come out from universities and research centers. And I mention this because this is a great opportunity for us through the project in order to disseminate our results, try to find technology providers, collaborators, and other means of organizations and institutions that could help us improve and make sense of the outcomes of the project. Next slide, please. I will finish my presentation by sharing with you this lifestyle assessment toolkit for citizens. Joao has already mentioned this. This is just an example of how we try to come up with some concrete results from the collaboration between Coimbra and Crete. And this is an example that shows the cross-regional innovation aspect. Since what we try to do is we try to exploit previous work and knowledge and expertise conducted in Coimbra, but also in other places in Portugal from our colleagues from Portugal. And actually, this is a tool that assesses the individual's lifestyle habits, and with a particular focus on Mediterranean diet and healthy aging. So the tool, of course, is science-based, and it fits well with some very specific conditions that have to do with well-being. And it can be used by citizens in order to support them in order to improve their daily routines, like diet, physical activity, etc. And this tool, as Dr. Malva already has mentioned, has been very well conceptualized and adopted and applied in the context of Portugal. And what we now try to do, next slide please, is, and this is a challenge, is understand how to best communicate this know-how and knowledge to our local environment. And this is something that we are currently working on. And the most critical aspect here is to see that we have to make some justifications and modifications in order to make sense of this tool to our local community. And what we also try to do is to mobilize as many people as possible, not as beneficiaries, but also as partners and suppliers. We have companies in the science park that have been involved in this specific field, and they are happy to provide us with some equipment in order to set this tool. And here you can see some, it's a collage of pictures very recently taken from the event that took place in Portugal, in Portugal, some days ago. And this is what we try to do here. So that's all from my perspective. Thank you very much for your participation, and of course, special thanks to our colleagues from Coimbra, and especially to Joao for this great opportunity to get involved in this very interesting project. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Dear George, thank you for the contextual insight and the contributions of the CREAT community for that. Thank you.
So apparently my computer is here blocked. So I would ask Manuel Santos if you can start sharing your presentation, and hopefully, okay, now I can just, okay. So Manuel.
In the meantime, I think we have a question, dear Joseph, if you can open up your mic, or if possible. You have your hands raised, please.
I think I just enabled your microphone.
Okay.
Joseph.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, am I heard now? Okay.
Yes,
Thanks
go
very
ahead.
much for two beautiful presentations. So I just wanted quickly to ask, in this first part, in your task 4.4, I think you listed there something like twinning synergies. Yeah, for me, it was quite interesting to have such task inside of Excellence Hub project. Can you maybe describe a bit like what are really like these activities? Is it some kind of like networking activities where you at common place, you invite partners from another twinning projects that are focused on similar kind of aging or lifestyle area, or how does it work in practice?
Thank you, Joseph. No. It is exactly this, because of the Excellence Hub concept. So it's not only about to develop, I would say, collaboration within the hubs, but it's mostly to develop collaboration between hubs. So when we have two different ecosystems, different people that don't know that much them partners. So what we do actually is we map competences in both hubs, and then we create matchmaking, I would say, events, occasions where people are introduced and support, I would say, starting collaborations between hubs. So this is what we do. We talk about twinning synergies. Is really to identify potential partners with common interest, and then to boost to instigate their active collaboration, because as you know, it's not, things can go two different ways. Either people have I would say, the real initiative and motivation to start a collaboration, but sometimes you need to instigate and to create the case, because people are not necessarily aware of competences of partners in different hubs. So in changing, we do this. We try to identify competences, and we try to instigate to this collaboration between hubs. I hope I was clear with you.
Okay, so maybe, yeah, because, okay, I'm coordinating this Excellence Hub focused on diagnostics of Alzheimer's disease, where some of our partners are also dealing with so-called non-pharmacological approaches, either preventing or helping these AD patients. For example, they are also trying to be quantitative in their cohorts, like, for example, if you walk with the speed of 5 kilometers per hour versus 3 kilometers per hour, what kind of differences it has. So it's different kind of things, similar like dietary issues, but also like these physical things. So maybe, I don't know if there will be something in future. Maybe, yeah, if you let us know, maybe somebody from our consortium would be also maybe quite interested, and maybe there can be even wider networking. That's one thing. Second, yeah, sorry.
Sorry. Please.
Yeah, maybe, okay, you answer it, because my second question goes to your colleague, so.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, I would prefer to give the floor to Manuel Santos for coherence, and then we restart the discussion if possible. This is fine, Derek? And
yes, that would be great. That would be great. We can get a full view as such. So, dear Manuel, the floor is yours, please. Thank you.
Yeah, well, still, if I can ask George, he was mentioning that in this Krita ecosystem, they have also molecular biologists on the floor, and this was a bit unclear to me. What are their activities? Because as whole project, I understood it's more really like this, I would call it like social lifestyle, things like this. So I was quite interested, what kind of like molecular biologists in your consortium, what are their activities?
No, Joseph, I might just, so it's probably the angle that we use in this presentation. No, the project is strongly based on work package 3, science-driven project. So we explore the cellular and molecular mechanisms of aging, and we try to identify innovative compounds inspired by Mediterranean diet culture to delay aging or to somehow tackle the aging issue. So Professor Nectarios Stavronarakis and Mary Markaki, which actually is also on this meeting, they are really experts on cellular and molecular biology of aging, especially, and they use C. elegans as a model, but also in Coimbra we have a strong component on cellular and molecular biology of aging on work package 3. I show you a number of papers that we actually are publishing, and now you see with Manuel Santos for the Multidisciplinary Institute of Aging how the science is really the basis for the support the social impact case of the healthy lifestyle assessment toolkit that we actually highlighted. But this is just, I would say, at the end of the pipeline, because at the basis we have strong research going on. But then probably I will ask to discuss a bit later after Manuel's presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, because definitely we are also, monitoring either neurotransmitters by either NMR spectroscopy or nodal imaging techniques and so on, and monitor different biomarkers. So I can see that maybe also this line of research can put us maybe potentially together. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Manuel, are you muted?
No. Good
No.
morning, everyone. Thank you, João, and thank you for the invitation. So I'm going to give you an overview of the teaming project MIA Portugal, which is works in close collaboration and certain integration with the Excellence Hub that João has just mentioned. So I'm going to try to share my screen. Hopefully it will be okay. That's it. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Now it's in full mode. Thank you so much. Please go ahead.
Okay, so our teaming project is a partnership between the University of Coimbra, the Groningen Medical School, the Newcastle University, our incubator Instituto Pedro Nunes that João just mentioned, and the national co-funding of the project comes from the regional government authority called CCDRC. So the project started in 2020, January 2020, and will end in December 2027. So I'm going to give you an overview of the project, of the ideas, of what we are doing, why we are doing them, and what we have achieved so far. So, as João mentioned in his presentation, aging research has become crucial to promote healthy living. And of course, there are a number of elements here that are important to us. Of course, health and longevity is one of them. We know that modern advancements have increased life expectancy, as I'll talk a little bit about this later on. But the incidence of age-related diseases like diabetes, cancer, cardiovascular diseases remain very, very high. In particular in Portugal, in Southern Europe in general, it's in Northern Europe the intensity is not so high, but in Southern Europe we haven't made as much progress as Northern Europe. And so this is a big issue for us. There are economic implications, of course. The rising number of elderly individuals with multiple health issues leads to higher healthcare spending. And just to give you a figure, the national budget, the budget of the National Health Service in Portugal doubled in the last 5 years. Just for you to have an idea of the enormity of this problem. And we see no real improvement in healthcare provision, despite this massive increase in spending, which of course is unsustainable in the long term. There are social challenges as well, as a significant portion of the elderly population suffers from multiple diseases in parallel, leading obviously to decrease the quality of life and increase the healthcare costs. And we need research. We can only tackle aging if we understand aging, and we don't understand the aging process very well. So really, there is a strong need to understand the aging process. It's crucial for developing preventive interventions and lifestyle adjustments. And here it is really important to understand that perhaps what we really need in the National Health Service is a change of paradigm from reactive medicine to preventive medicine. As João mentioned in his presentation, genetics counts for 25% of the contribution to chronic diseases and aging. The rest is modifiable and is environmental, related to lifestyle and so on. So really, we really need to understand this to be able to intervene, and the data shows that it is possible to intervene, but we need more predictive and preventive approaches. So the problem here is in this, this slide shows what the problem is in real terms. So as you can see, from 79 to 2025, the average life expectancy in Portugal increased dramatically from 59 in men and 56 in women to 83 years old in women and 78 in men. We don't know what will be the maximum longevity, but it's still increasing. At the moment, it stands at 122, a French lady. But we really don't know how this will progress. But if you look at the bottom part of the slide, you can see that the impact of chronic diseases on the National Health Service is absolutely dramatic. 60 to 80% of the health spending is on chronic diseases, 80% of general practice appointments, 60% of occupational hospital beds, and 60% of urgency admissions. And you can see in the middle graph that multimorbidity starts really at 60 and increases dramatically after that. What is hopeful and very interesting is, shows that we really need to understand aging to tackle these issues, is that natural centenarians are naturally healthy. And they do make a small contribution to these costs that I've mentioned. So the bottom line here is that multimorbidity can be prevented, mitigated, or minimized, but we do need to understand the aging phenotype, and we do need predictive and preventive medicine approaches to tackle this issue. And we are spending in Europe only around 2% of the National Health Service budgets on preventive medicine. 98% is on reactive medicine. And of course, here we really need a paradigm shift. And this is across all countries. So this is something that needs to be tackled over the coming years and decades. It's a complicated issue, but there really needs to be, something needs to be done. Okay, so let me move my slides. Okay, so here you can see very clearly the problem in Portugal. This is on the left, you see the pyramid, the age pyramid in 1974. Our National Health Service was created in 79. So in 74, we were around 8.7 million people, life expectancy 68 years. In 22, the pyramid changed completely. We are now around 11 million people, and this aging pyramid is changing, is getting even worse. So life expectancy now is around 81 years. And of course, when you look at these figures, you see that the National Health Service, which was funded in 79, changed very little, was funded, created for a population with an aging pyramid that is completely different from what it is today. And the National Health Service actually changed very little. And that's where the problem resides. And that's why doubling the budget improved very little the quality of the services and care provided by the National Health Service. So we are investing heavily on this aging, on creating a hub in Coimbra to tackle aging. And this is our new building where we will install the new Institute of Aging. This picture was taken 6 months ago. Now the building is almost finished, and our hope is to inaugurate the new institute next year. So just for you to have an idea of the kind of enterprise involved here. So the Institute will have 22 research groups. That's the maximum that we can accommodate in the building. Around 200 scientists, 100 technicians and support staff. It has a very large animal house and 10 research platforms. So it's an institute dedicated to understand the biology of aging. So the other thing that we've been doing since mainly 2021 is to identify group leaders at the global level to join the Institute. We have already hired a number of them. Others are being hired at the moment, and we recruit at the global level based on merit only. So here you can see that we already have a number of group leaders. Some of them are already installed in Coimbra in other buildings, and they will move to the new building by January, February next year or so. Others are still in their host institutions, and they will move as soon as we have the new building fully functional. So we have a strong component of neurosciences, cardiovascular biology, and also molecular and cellular biology, but also artificial intelligence. So these groups will join other groups that are in the Coimbra ecosystem. As João mentioned briefly, Coimbra has a long tradition on aging research. There are very good groups in Coimbra, very active, working on aging, and they will join us in this new institute next year. So we have, let's say, the resources, the human resources, and this new fantastic building to build this new institute, which we hope will make an impact on or make important contributions to understand the aging processes and the aging phenotype. So really, as I mentioned before, MIA, or we want to make sure that MIA is a hub for multidisciplinary aging research and innovation. At the core, a catalyst for breakthrough science, so very strong emphasis on discovery science, focused on aging, and also an integrator of multidisciplinary knowledge. In fact, in Coimbra University, we have people from the IT field, from psychology, medicine, sports, and other areas working on aging. And what we want to do, and João has an initiative at the university level to bring these people together and capitalize or leverage their contributions to this larger program. So, of course, involving the local healthcare ecosystem, and cooperate and create a network of partners to enhance and to help us translate our knowledge to applications and to the clinic and to society. So in practical terms, we have chosen an olive tree as our mascot. And the reason is that we have in Portugal, and I guess in Greece will be similar, and Italy and other countries. But we have in Portugal an olive tree that is 3,700 years old. It's a national monument. And here in Coimbra, we have an olive tree also that is more than 1,000 years old. So this is our mascot for that reason. And as you can see, we have two big questions. One is to understand how we age, and the other one is how can we stay healthier for longer periods of time. So our approach is to develop new methodologies and integrate AI for aging in a way that allows us to make progress at the molecular regulation of aging level, tissue aging, systems and organism aging, but focus on three main areas. The main focus will be brain health. The second important focus will be vascular and metabolic health. And we have a new initiative on muscle, skeletal system health. It's something that we are developing with our new group leaders. But our overall goal is to improve health span and well-being. We are not so much focused on increasing longevity, but we are, of course, if we improve health span and well-being, we will improve longevity. But one thing is to focus the research on improving or extending life. The other thing is to focus on specific aspects of aging, like those that you can see in this tree, to improve health during late life, which is for us more important than extending lifespan. So here you can see our research pipeline. So MIA Portugal activity or core business is really on basic or discovery science, but then we have all these assets, regional assets like aging at Coimbra that João mentioned, the large local hospital and the network of health centers, which will allow us to translate our knowledge into practical applications, and also validate some of our drugs that we may discover. But this will be through partnerships. So we have a core business focused on the biology of aging, and then partnerships with Aging at Coimbra and local partners to translate the knowledge. So to achieve this, we organize the Institute in three main axes. One axis is called MIA Discoveries and is coordinated by a director for MIA Discoveries and is focused on fundamental research and high-quality advanced training of young researchers. The other axis is focused on MIA Innovation and is directed, it has its own director and is focused on translational and applied research to bridge the gap between basic research and market solutions. And the other axis is MIA Society, focused on communication, dissemination of results, and societal impact. So basically what the Institute, or what we are trying to do, is to connect this basic research component with the translation and clinical research, making it an integrated system where we can extract knowledge in the best way possible, and through collaborations, local, regional collaborations, we can use the knowledge that comes from understanding the basic mechanisms of aging and put that knowledge into some clinical or community community interventions practices. So, of course, we have mapped our stakeholders and we have value propositions for them, and that's how we are working at the moment. In other words, define what we can offer them, and we can offer a number of different things to different stakeholders. And this is something that we hope will help us in this translational component of our activities. So thank you very much. This is what I wanted to tell you about MIA Portugal. Hopefully you will hear a lot from us in the near future, in particular if you are interested in aging and in the biology of aging and how this new area of research may contribute to increase health span, increase quality of life. So thank you very much.
Emmanuel, thank you so much. It has been quite an informative session altogether. Dear Joe, thank you for the overview of the project and the scope in itself. Dear George, thank you for reflecting the Cretan ecosystem actors and their roles as per se. And last but not least, dear Manuel, thank you so much for detailing, especially the elements of what is important in regard to the contextual Portuguese ecosystem, as well as other actors and other priorities that you have emphasized. I would like to especially emphasize the takeaways that was mentioned in regard to being more reactive, being more preventive than reactive altogether, which is an important implication to not be a part of the problem, but be part of the solution in the process altogether. Again, an important implication was the multidisciplinarity that was based, I hope, in there will be great contributions to the discipline of gerontology, as well as maybe insights in regard to the different health organizations that have given insights to longevity and well-being, but the essence is living it together and understanding the elements and the actors that are involved. So thank you all for this very informative and very dear presentation. From our audience, thank you for attending. And do you have any questions to our presenters, please, in regard to this topic? We have a thank you, I believe. Yes, dear Derek, please go ahead.
Also, for all the attendees, I just allowed you to use your microphone and camera to facilitate the question and answer. So I would like to thank the Changing team. It's really, really interesting for me. My background's in solar energy, and so learning about aging and having the connection with the Excellent Sub projects for me was really, really nice. Also, your visuals were very, very sophisticated. So congratulations on the visuals. I was also impressed with your public engagement activities. So it was really nice to see all of the engagement. So within both the Solar Hub, there's another Excellent Sub project called ECHO. Both of these have a component about energy communities. And we, in some cases, specifically are targeting agricultural communities. And so these are mainly, actually, I guess, ECHO has partners from Turkey, Greece, and Portugal. And then Solar Hub is Turkey and Greece. And so we're all Mediterranean. In terms of your healthy lifestyles, do you go beyond, I guess, kind of food as consumption to actually the farming and maybe integrating the community into these farming activities as part of a healthy lifestyle?
Well, I may address this, Derek. In fact, so on the big picture, yes. If you take the big picture on a broader perspective, yes. Not specifically on changing project on the Excellent Sub per se, because this, we have a certain, a proposal, a grant agreement, and so we have a frame work to deal. But on the concept that, you know, One Health is the big umbrella that supports healthy lifestyles with the Mediterranean diet and other, you know, behavioral. So the issue of One Health, in fact, actually, we are working on a doctoral network, which the topic is One Health and aging. So which means that, you know, you cannot dissect the issue of farming, of air pollution, of quality, health determinants related with the living environment. You cannot dissect this from human health. So because human health is affected by planetary health, by, you know, the environment, the ecosystem. And obviously the issue of farming is absolutely critical, because it's on one way you need to produce food for human consumption, but then you have a balance between, you know, cost of production and pollution and impact. And when we talk about healthy agriculture, we are usually talking of methodologies that increase the costs somehow, because you reduce the impact on the ecosystem. You need to work together on this, because at the end, if you want to promote healthy living and, you know, healthy longevity, you need obviously to take care of the quality of the environment and the quality of the agriculture and how you produce. So it is not on our key priority, but it's underlying on the concept. But this is a ground for further work, obviously. Because also we have other parallel, just as a note, we have collaborators in Excellence Hub that are, for instance, dealing with mushrooms, with, you know, production of mushrooms and healthy food through, natural products like mushrooms and the products from forests. So there are new ways, new trends related with agriculture that can, you know, really bridge on our science topics and healthy longevity topics. Manuel, I don't know if you want to comment on this.
No, just briefly. I think for me the key issue here is that multimorbidity, which affects the quality of life and the autonomy in late life, is modifiable. Okay, there is no genetic predisposition to, you know, there is a little genetic predisposition, but it's around 25%. I mean, it's really about lifestyle. It's really about what the exercise you do, what you eat, how you sleep, the community surrounding the people. So really, this is what, just following what João was saying, I mean, these are activities that really modify the quality of life in late age. And really, there is a work to do here, and it is really important. This is one issue. Of course, the other issue is that we don't understand the biology of aging. We think we understand a lot, but we don't. We really need to produce new knowledge, and then use that knowledge to develop clever, intelligent approaches to modify in a positive way this lack of quality of life that affects most people in late age.
If you don't mind, I just want to just an extra note, because I was not so clear with Derek's response. Because one critical issue about farming is, you know, the use of excessive use of pesticides, herbicides, so pollutants. And we more and more know that there is a dialogue between pollutants and the microbiota in our gut. And this is a critical, the dysbiosis. So, you know, rapid changing in microbiome population in human gut is a critical determinant of, for instance, multimorbid conditions related with the metabolic diseases. So there is a dialogue between the microbiome and peripheral inflammation due to, you know, disruption of gut-blood barrier that ultimately go also to the brain because of blood-brain barrier. So this is about how can we develop better agriculture, decreasing the impact of human health. At the end, it is related with it. And this is related with Mediterranean diet, fresh food, clean food, seasonal, so there is a lot of research to do there.
Thank you.
Dear Joseph, I think you have a question. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so as somebody who is not that involved, but I was really surprised that this kind of issue is so much focused on South or Southern European countries, yeah, because, and I also noticed on your map that Czechia, as a representative of Central Europe, is also colored in quite bad, how to say this, to say that we obviously have very similar and severe issues. When you mentioned that these Nordic countries, they are not affected that much, because naturally I would expect, that in Southern Europe you have more sun, also lifestyle seem to be less stressful, maybe Mediterranean food is probably more approachable. In Central Europe, we don't have nice access to fresh fishes and so on. So therefore, I'm kind of surprised. And I think your explanation, or one of possible explanation that you mentioned, it's probably can be a big part of this wider picture, yeah, that what is so much different. I'm not sure if it's really lifestyle, because I would still believe that like in Crete, whatever, you have much healthier lifestyle compared like very stressful like these other Nordic countries. But yeah, maybe something either in the soil, in the like these pesticides or other contaminants in air pollution, or these microplastics and so on. This is something that definitely I think is worthy to deeper investigate, because yeah.
I think if I can comment, I think the big change happened maybe 30 years ago or so. Then, in particular, the Scandinavian countries invested a lot on healthy living, on exercise, on putting much more attention on the quality of life. And of course, you have to consider also that our income in the Southern Europe is not as big as in Northern Europe, and this makes a huge difference in terms of access to healthcare, which Northern Europe is much better organized than Southern Europe. So it's not one factor, it's a combination of factors. If you look at the happiness indexes, they are of course questionable, but you see that Scandinavia is always happier than Southern Europe.
I cannot believe it, when I spend some time in Stockholm and in Madrid, and when I comparing, or in Greece. Yeah,
yes, so it's always, but I think a big component is income, family income, that and access to good quality care. And also healthy living. I think Scandinavia invested much more than Southern Europe over the last 30 years, and they are now seeing the benefits of that investment.
So maybe, as you mentioned, this preventive medicine, or really like that major population is really aware, yeah, about all these aspects, not only in this general level. Okay, eat less, exercise more, but being maybe more specific and trying to implement it, yeah, it can be also like this quite some puzzle. Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you. Any further comments or suggestions, questions, please, from our audience? Maybe if not, I may ask a question. especially to emphasize why Portugal and Greece was selected to implement these activities, because as I referenced, dear Manuel mentioned that the aim was to have a paradigm shift, and in these countries, in essence, the population is very open to such activities in regard to the Mediterranean culture as such. And in especially Joel's presentation, there were mention of different approaches like second university applications, etc. So was the basis of selection more of having these, let's say, capabilities and exploiting them, or exploring a new set of, let's say, activities as per se? And my second question is, there's always discussion in regard to the age groups and how we define age in these groups. How does the Changing Project define age? And in this context, because this is more of building the community, it's not of the focus group of the aging group in itself, but also maybe the family members that are more younger and would be supporting it for more preventive and to let's say entice a more cultural habits to sustain these activities. So thank you so much again, and looking forward to your answers. Thank you.
Thank you. And if I may, just very briefly, so how we came together on this journey, our partners from Coimbra and Crete Hub. So this was essentially inspired by, we had a concept. So the concept was to, support healthy living across the life cycle. And then the Mediterranean diet came as a very important element on our project design, because of all those elements related with healthy habits, but also with, compounds that can, remove senescent cells from our body, or, senolytics, xenomorphics, anti-inflammatory compounds, etc. So then we realized that because of the Mediterranean diet was a critical element, so we need to find partners in the Mediterranean area. And Crete has been described as the first, the place where firstly was described Mediterranean diet. So Crete came on the top of our priority. And then it was really about synergies. So we have excellent science going on in Crete. These will match perfectly the vision that we have, but it's about, synergies, scientific synergies, but also complementarity, because the approach, the models, biological models that in terms of research that our colleagues mostly use in Professor Nectarios Stavronakis' group, it's, worms, which we mostly use mice and human samples. So worms were a perfect fit, and it was, just a progress, and everything combined perfectly. And then obviously we approach, we have and we came together on this journey. The issue about, defining age in changing, and the way we see in our excellence hub. So there is no a single day or date or year to become old. An old person is someone that is old, or a young person that intends to become old. So it's a process, it's a progress. So there is no, when we talk about aging, we talk about life. You might, you may have 1 year old and you are aging. You might have 100 years old and you are aging. It's a process. It's a common process. Obviously, in terms of, then defining population groups for obviously treatment and the characterization of the population. So we tend to group in our interventions, group people in range, different age range, plus 65, which again, it's something just artificial, as we know, but we tend to group in plus 65, those that are older or adults, or if you need, then we are not using very old people in terms of grouping, but if so, we would put also a range plus 80 or so, but in fact we are grouping plus 65, people between 50 and 65, and this is, these ages are particularly critical because we are, transforming our body, and there is still room to accommodate major behavioral changes, and less than 50 if we are talking about adults, not children. In fact, the intergenerational approach is very relevant, extremely relevant, because sometimes you need to act through kids to young people to influence behaviors in older adults. But on the other side, you also want to involve other adults in wise recommendations for kids to change the way they live to in a more preventive way, to an LTA, to prevent diseases. So this is in brief our comment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any further questions before we close our session, or any comments?
No, apologize because we took longer, but anyway, it was very interesting from our perspective. Thank you.
It was a full productive session, and one of the rules of neuroplasticity is to be bold, to try new things, learn new things, and I think the Changing Project and the context in itself has really been very eye-opening to the audience. At least for my sake, I have really learned a lot. And have gained a new perspective in regard to aging and the value add that is created in the process. I think we have, yes, dear George, please go ahead.
Yeah, I remember in the very beginning, João says in his presentation that you are very welcome to Portugal. So he made somehow a kind of promotion for Coimbra. So in my turn now, I would like to welcome you in Greece. You are very welcome whenever you happens to come here. You are very welcome to join us and have some chatting together. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Thank you
so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Changing is challenging.
I mean, the olive tree won me over. So in any case, similarly, we're very open. And again, one of the great value adds of this community is to be learning from each other and learning from our knowledgeability and the efforts that we put forth. So thank you again for supporting the Excellence Hub community, which was initiated by our project coordinator, Professor Dr. Derek Baker. And we hope to be in contact in regard to these ecosystems and the different countries that add value and add support to the needs of the community at hand. And especially, I also would like to applaud your approach in regards to how you have integrated the quadruple helix actors as well, because this is a very important implication of the call in itself. And I think the Changing Project has a very unique perspective in engagement and in how it integrates these results all together. I think it's the first time I've seen more of a transdisciplinary approach where you are working at the core of the end users, as let's say, all together. So congratulations on that, and we look forward to looking and learning more about the project outcomes to come. So thank you again, and congratulations. And we hope to hopefully be together again 2 weeks from now in our new Excellence Hub community activity, which is the Metacities Excellence Hubs. So if you're interested, please do join again. And thank you again to the dear Changing team. On behalf of all of you, please also congratulate other team members and other supporters on your project. So thank you again. And thank you to our audience who have supported this initiative. Have a great day, and we'll be closing now. Thank you so much.